Gen friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like a broken record, I go again and again and tell people, yaar, listen, if you want to control China, the only way to do it is to hammer China. China understands the language of ideas. Find out Ukraine on the map. Ask them to point out where is Ukraine on the map and they'll get lost. So why are they doing it? Why does Pakistanis usually do something? For money. Gen friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Friends, we've recently launched a new channel called Majorly Right. What is Majorly Right about? It's essentially a channel where we'll have these 2, 3, 4-minute clips of anything that we find interesting, Like for example, typically the Chanakya Dialogues Hindi and English will have the entire video duration of approximately 18 to 20 minutes. But there, you don't have to watch 20 minutes. Some of you don't want to watch that long a video. You want to watch short videos. You want to watch news that you find interesting. Just watch and carry on. This is for people like you. 2, 3, 4-minute short videos and multiple videos a day. That is what we have done in Majorly Right. So please go to Majorly Right and subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. There also, we look forward to hosting you on Majorly Right. So ladies and gentlemen, the first news of the day is pretty huge. It is Justice Chandrachud heading a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court looking into abrogation of Article 370 and 35A, in which Justice Chandrachud said that, there is a difference between privilege and discrimination. Now, I'm just explaining in my own words what he said. And he said that, while 35A did give certain privileges to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, it discriminated against people who are not quote-unquote citizens of Jammu and Kashmir. And the Indian Constitution cannot allow discrimination. It can't be allowed under the Indian Constitution. So essentially, there was discrimination in many ways. So for example, earlier, before 370 and 35A, somebody who was born and brought up, and if I can use the word citizen, should not be used, but I'm just using it to explain to you better, of Jammu and Kashmir, erstwhile state, he could go anywhere in India and seek a job. And he could very easily seek a job. But could a citizen of India go to J&K and get a job there? No. They could buy land everywhere. Could we go and buy land? No, not at all. So this is where the discrimination set in. Also the fact that if a girl from Jammu and Kashmir actually married outside the state, she would lose right to property. These were the kinds of, laws. Also the fact that, people of certain castes and certain communities who had been living for generations in Jammu and Kashmir, generations, right? They were not given equal rights. They were pariahs in every sense. And very, very unfortunate that you can do that to another human being in this day and age. I mean, 500 years back, I could have understood, but today, everybody is equal. Everybody needs to be treated equally. That is what human decency is all about. I'm not even talking about democracy. I'm talking about human decency. This is what human decency is all about. Article 35A and 370 took away, and especially we're talking about 35A, took away that basic human decency. Now, I want to ask a lot of people, a lot of people were saying, no, how can the government do this? And there have been political parties who have said that if we come back to power, we will, roll this back. And Mehbooba Mufti is one such politician who has promised to roll back and get back 370 and 35A. I just want to tell Mehbooba Mufti, Mehbooba ji, why do you tell lies to the people of Jammu and Kashmir? Is it up to you? Is it up to you? Even if, let us say, heaven forbid a million times, if you become the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, can you get back Article 370, 35A? This has been abrogated by an act of Parliament. Unless you plan to become the Prime Minister of India with a 2/3 majority in both houses of the Parliament, then you have every right to make such a promise. But otherwise, you're just lying and you've already made that promise. And other political parties also in India, small political parties, have made this promise, not realizing that their own size. And they don't realize, in spite of their electoral size, their political weight, forget about that. The people of India will never accept it. People of India will come out on the roads because they've realized that this was wrong. This was blatantly wrong and has been done away with. Entire India celebrated. So all those people, one odd teacher of J&K, one odd professor, one odd teacher who's saying that I will go to Delhi and I'll fight this case and I'll do this, please do not waste your time. If you're looking at a political career, do something constructive for the people of J&K. Don't try to fan the waves of hatred in Jammu and Kashmir. J&K has already spilt enough blood here. A lot of people have died. A lot of widows, a lot of orphans have been, created in J&K. Enough is enough now. Peace needs a chance. 35A, 370 is gone, done away with. Let's not revisit that chapter. Now, coming to China and then to Pakistan. Naturally, how can we not discuss China and Pakistan? China has released a map in which all the territories that were, occupied by China after the 1962 war or during the 1962 war, those have been included in China, and China has also largely included Arunachal Pradesh in this map, and the South China Sea, and Taiwan. So China does everything in which there is no hard work required, Making a map deep inside mainland China somewhere and releasing it, this is all right. I mean, every country can do it, so can we. Tomorrow I can make a map sitting in Noida and say Beijing is part of Uttar Pradesh. Yeah? So, it doesn't make it part of Uttar Pradesh, but I am well within my rights to make a map. The Constitution of India allows me freedom of expression, unlike in China. So, China is doing this and doing this deliberately. And why should China do this? Let me tell you. What is China's strategy behind this? One strategy is to keep up the pressure on India, because very recently during the BRICS summit in Johannesburg, Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping had a meeting. It wasn't exactly a bilateral, but it was a meeting between two leaders, and they spoke, and the Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister Modi, very clearly told the President of China that, listen, Mr. Xi Jinping, this is not done, and you can't have normal relations unless we disengage in Ladakh. So please don't do this. It's not worth it. Dr. Jaishankar had earlier categorically told the Chinese that if you want normal relations with India, Wang Yi has been saying that he wants normal relations with India, but you can't have normal relations with India unless you normalize the line of actual control. You can't have, along the entire LAC I'm not just talking about Ladakh, I'm talking about the entire LAC. You can't have 1 million troops here plus here combined, staring at each other and then saying, oh, we want normal relations between China and India. Won't happen. Won't ever happen. So China mischievously released this map because invariably in India what will happen is that the media will start discussing and there will be some sort of pressure on the politicians of the country, especially the ruling party. There will be some pressure. That is what China is hoping for. Second thing is G20 is happening in India, and China is not very happy with that. China wants to somehow make this G20 a little bit controversial. So what they were hoping for is that we will release such a statement, we will release such a map, India will respond by releasing a map of its own, and then we can say that, okay, no, this G20, India is taking advantage and this and that, and we are not going there and we are not attending, all that nonsense. India very smartly said that we don't agree with what China has said. End of story. Arindam Bakshi, spokesperson, Ministry of External Affairs, one cold sentence, without any emotion, was sent by MEA. That's it. Matter ends there. Now Xi Jinping better come to Delhi. He better come to Delhi. They were trying to make G20 controversial. They tried. It failed. And it failed within 24 hours. Another news from China is China sent a ship all the way to Sri Lanka. Whether Sri Lanka has given it the rights to dock there and stay there for a certain time is not known till now. We'll come to know in a matter of hours or maybe a day or so. But the fact of the matter is that this Chinese ship says it came here, which is to Sri Lanka, for a survey. Now, China has sent spy ships in the past. And I don't think there is any survey that China is doing. Survey for what? What survey does China want to do? Everything has been surveyed here. There is no new survey that China wants to do. China simply wants to spy on India. And it is using Sri Lanka as a base. Because China actually funded the Hambantota port. And China owns the Hambantota port for 99 years. So Chinese vessels will come, they'll dock there, and for all practical purposes, that territory of Hambantota port is Chinese territory. India should take kinetic action against China. I've been saying this time and again, like a broken record, I go again and again and tell people, yeah, listen, if you want to control China, the only way to do it is to hammer China. China understands the language of violence. The whole punch-shield and let's talk to them and let's be lovey-dovey and let's fly the doves of peace and all this nonsense does not fly well with China. Right? China is a country that respects what General Sagat Singh did to them in 1967 in Nathula. They respect that kind of force. They respect that kind of strength of character. China respects that. And if you can hammer China senseless, if you can beat China senseless over this, then you've won the game. Chinese respects, they're great at respecting strength. I'm telling you, what India should do is sink a couple of their ships. And I'm not saying this, very loosely, and I'm not passing a loose comment here. I'm very serious. This has been done by India before. That is why there was peace between India and China. China, we fought a war with China, which we unfortunately lost in 1962. In 1967, China came again. But this time, they were confronted by General Sagat Singh. He hammered the living daylights out of them. And then there was peace. Until 3-4 years back, 5 years back, when China started again, misbehaving, doklam. Before that, China was absolutely peaceful. Why? Because the nightmare of General Sagat Singh refused to go out of the Chinese mind. That is the level of the hammering that they received on the orders of that officer. That is exactly what we need to do now. We have done it before. I am not suggesting anything which has not been done, which has not been tried and tested, and which has not been successful. Chinese respect slaps and kicks. They don't respect pieces of paper. We signed 4 agreements with China. China tore up those 4 agreements, right? But did General Sagat Singh sign any agreement with China or the PLA? No. He just killed Chinese soldiers. He just went ahead. He opened up artillery. He killed Chinese soldiers. The Chinese understood. End of story. There was peace. That is the only way you can have peace between India and China, by hammering China and inflicting heavy casualties on the Chinese. Otherwise, it can't happen. All right. Now, coming back, ladies and gentlemen, to our favorite topic, Pakistan. Now, in Pakistan, a couple of things have happened. Toshakhana case. Imran Khan Niazi, former Prime Minister, who's in jail, he has been, given bail in the Toshakhana case, where he was accused of corruption. What is the Toshakhana case? Essentially, when heads of state go or come, they're given gifts, they receive gifts. So when you receive a gift as a head of state, you keep it in a place called the Toshakhana. India has the same system, right? But in Pakistan, they tweak the rules. And they tweak the rules a little bit, and they said that, okay, you pay 10% of the price. So what the government does is, the government evaluates the price, right? It evaluates the price of a gift. Let us say the gift is let us say this watch is a gift. I'm saying watch because that is exactly what Imran Khan stole. He stole a watch. So let us say this watch. So the government prices it at, let's say, 1,000 rupees, for example. So the government says this watch is for 1,000 rupees. At 10%, the Prime Minister of Pakistan or the President of Pakistan can buy it at 10% of the cost. So the government of Pakistan says that the price is 100, and then at 10 rupees, Imran Khan can buy it. But the problem is that the original price of the watch was not 100, it was 1,000. I'm giving all these figures as examples. These are not, of course not, those watches that Imran Khan stole were worth crores and crores of rupees. So I'm just giving this as an example. Easier to understand for middle class mortals like us, We middle class people, we don't deal in crores. At best, we might deal in lakhs. At best, during salary time. Otherwise, we don't deal with lakhs. We just deal with a few thousand, 10, 15, 20,000 here and there. That's the limit of our dealing. Let me tell you. So what they did was, a watch which cost 10,000, its valuation was done at 100 rupees. 100 rupees was fixed as the true value of the watch. And then Imran Khan said that he will pay 10%. So he paid 10%. He paid 10 rupees for a watch that actually cost 1,000 rupees. That is the entire Toshakhana case. And there were many other gifts. There were necklaces and there were this and that. But essentially, the watch became the most famous item because Imran Khan bagged that watch from the Toshakhana. He stole it. Stole it, I mean, he took it for peanuts, so that is basically theft only. So essentially, in this case, Imran Khan has been given bail by the Honorable Court, and the Honorable Court will give Imran Khan bail because 90% of the judges are in favor of Imran Khan, right? Because Justice Umar Ata Bandial is a friend of Imran Khan, and Umar Ata Bandial's mother-in-law is a card-carrying member of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. That is the relation between Imran Khan, Chief Justice of Pakistan, and the mother-in-law. There's a very famous joke in Pakistan. In Pakistan, there is no rule of law. There is a rule of mother-in-law. So this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. The last news of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Russian ambassador to India, Denis Alepov, was asked, that Pakistan is supplying weapons to Ukraine. What are you doing about that? And he says, we take all these things very seriously. We're looking into it. And when we get to the bottom of the truth and we find out that Pakistan is doing it, it will be construed as anti-Russia action. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not the point. The point is, why is Pakistan doing it? Does Pakistan love Ukraine? No. 90% of the Pakistanis, or let me say 99% of the Pakistanis, will not be able to find out Ukraine on the map. Ask them to point out where is Ukraine on the map and they'll get lost. So why are they doing it? Why does Pakistanis usually do something? For money. There is no love involved. There is no ideology involved. There are no principles involved. With Pakistan, it's always dollars. You throw dollars and the Pakistanis will dance. So here in this case, my sensing is, and this is my analysis, that there was a deal. Pakistan made a deal. They were desperate. They were on the verge of default and they would have defaulted, right? Quietly, the Pakistani army made a deal with the Americans. And the deal was this. The deal was that you facilitate, which is why, they were in, that is why this Bhutto's, Bilawal Zardari Bhutto, he spoke to the Americans. Their army chief spoke to the US Army people or the Pentagon. They had a series of meetings for what? How do you get money? You get money like this. He said, okay, we will supply. We have a lot of stuff. And naturally, there is ceasefire with India. So heavy weaponry we are not using. And we don't need it against Afghanistan or Iran. We only need it against India. And there is peace against it. So you give us $3 billion. What we will do is, much of our stocks that are there with us, we will supply to Ukraine. And of course, they will get paid for the services. So what is happening is that Pakistan is supplying weapons to Ukraine. And they're getting paid for the services. And they also got that $3 billion odd from IMF. What is IMF? IMF is nothing but America and Europe. There is no IMF per se. It is all America and Europe. World Bank, what is World Bank? World Bank is America and Europe. Primarily America, less of Europe, but there it is. So, the West stands firmly with Ukraine against Russia. And that is why Pakistan comes in. Sell your weapons, sell your equipment, take money. And Pakistani generals have made hay while the sun shone in the sky above. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.